Right. So, I came here to test something else, and when I walked up to the shelf, uh, half of these guys had glowing eyes. So I started 5 minutes ago with 600,000 less runes than I have now from one time working down the shelf. It was crazy. I so only it wasn't my plan was not to rune farm. I actually was planning on testing a different weapon, um, which it turns out I may not be able to do here anyway because it hits too hard, um, which is a hell of a problem to have. So my plan was not to rune farm. My plan was to test this axe that I'm playing with briefly, and like 10 of these had those glowing eyes that like give you 5 times runes, give or take. Um, maybe. It's actually hard to hit that dragon with the non-skills, but that's actually a good thought. The problem is I may have killed it already. Um, in fact, I bet I did. Let's go find out. Yeah, it's already gone. Um, I was just looking for something big to hit. Obviously, I've skipped almost everything in the game, so there should be something. Um, you can see how far along I've gone. Having skipped everything. Um, guess I could do Falling Star Beast by Volcano. Do I have the seed water? Hold on. I may not have the seed. Oh, this may work. There may actually be a dragon I can kill. One of the. Oh, hello. Hello. um, effectively, yes. Um, I'm on my. This is playthrough number 12. Um, let's see. I've gotten. No, I've not played through the base game because I haven't done the Fire Giant yet. I've only gotten to. I've beaten Millennia and I've gotten through to the Freezing Lake. That's not a dragon I want to test on. um, I yeah, I do. I don't know everything though. I learn new stuff every day. And people hop onto my stream. Yeah, I do. I have not engaged that yet. In fact, come to think of it, I may not have even I may not have beaten mode yet. But oh, so let me give you some advice about the base game. And some of this advice will fly in the face of what others may have told you and what some stuff you see online is. The number one, the number one thing that I would tell you is for your first playthrough, don't rune farm, except to preserve runes, and I'll explain that. And don't follow advice to do things like this will make the game easier unless it involves like learning something, learning how to do something. So one of the big mistakes I think that people make in this game is they oh, I almost died. To be good at this game, you need to understand the techniques to play the game. And that's the mistake that so many people make. Take my rune pile back. Learn, if you don't know what guard and guard count are, learn how to do those. If you want, I can show you how to do them. But you want to learn this game, learn what it is that you need to do in the game that is part of the game. You don't want to cheese your way through. It's just an opinion. Oh, I summoned my guy with it. Alright, I summoned him as a caster. Stupid fire stuff. Good lord. Maybe this wasn't such a good boss to pick for this. What I'm trying to do is to see if I can get rock built up on this. Although I would have thought that it would do pretty well on that. It isn't. Ah, okay, so now it's got poison. Oh, alright. So, you want to learn how to do things in the game. Oh yeah, Starfists are fantastic. So, if you're planning on doing a build like that, you really need to learn timing. And there are times when you know that you're going to get hit, so you want to be able to do a snap guard. I can actually show that. Stick around, stick around. I'm switching tunes. I have a tune just for explaining stuff like this. Starfist is a bleed. Is a bleed thing, by the way. Yeah, never, in my opinion, never rush past anything. Okay, so I'm using just a broadsword +1 and a heater shield. So you can do that. In fact, here, I'm going to just put the shield on my back. So just to show you that you can do what I'm going to show you with a weapon. So this is guard, right? I'm using a keyboard. It's just right-click on my mouse. But when he goes to swing, popping up the guard, whoop, doesn't work much for me. Literally just pasting out, No, that's not the way Elden Ring is meant to be played. Elden Ring is meant to be played using everything that there is in the game. This is one way to play Elden Ring. So what you just saw was me playing around back and forth, trying to practice snap guard. So basically, a snap guard is just guarding instantly. It's waiting for the strike and then putting a guard up right there. Guard is really easy. It's easiest with a shield, right? So a guard is literally just putting the shield up for defense. You can do it with a weapon too. But it's literally just putting the shield up. And guard counter is immediately after them hitting a guard with many attacks, not all attacks. You hit them with a high poise breaking hit. These guys are super easy. So don't think that it's going to be like this with all things, but they're good to kind of give you an example. So I've got my guard up, and then as soon as he bounces off the shield, I do a heavy attack, and instead it does what's called a guard counter, which is that where I do the hit. It also happens for these guys to break their poise. It does not always break their poise, but it does break their poise in this case. Now, they can also guard counter you, and it's something to watch out for. Now, the real value of the guard counter comes when you're using, like, a big weapon. Okay? So normally, this is a very... I'm heavy load, so... But normally, this is a very, very slow attack weapon, right? See how quick that guard came in? It's a much faster attack. And even with a big weapon, you get a much quicker hit back. Now, if they're still super fast, you may not get it in there. It's not a guaranteed hit, but it's a much better hit than... it's much more likely to hit. So, I would suggest coming to this area. I think this is the best place to practice stuff like this. And even if you're doing just, like, I could put both swords... yeah. So now I've got the two swords. Right? And what I lose is the ability to guard, but I get a double weapon attack. And if I switch to one, that's a guard. Snap guarding is good for when you know, like, nope, too late, I'm going to get hit, there's nothing I can do. Boom, you can quickly guard. And what you do is look at these numbers to tell you what it's going to do for damage reduction. It's particularly useful for magic. It's not going to do much for physical. They're still going to bust your guard pretty easily if you're guarding with a weapon. But it's good for reducing the magic damage you take. So if a dragon's going to breathe on you, get that guard up. It's worth, if you know you're going to get hit by it, put the guard up just to reduce the amount of damage that you take. And then the guard counter is when, if they're in range and all the stars align, so to speak, you can quickly toss out that sort of riposte hit. And it's really effective, actually. So I'm just going to do a regular... So, see how he was able to... So sometimes it's, even though it's a fast attack, they're still going to hit you faster like that. And that's where you need to learn the moveset. So he's going to keep getting me as long as I keep trying to do it. So 1, 2, then I guard counter. So sometimes when you have that second. So that's guard countering. That's different from the parry, which you watch the video on the parry. All you can do for parry is practice. Just practice, practice, practice. Here's the thing. You can only parry with certain things. You need a parry dagger, or you need an Ash of War on an item that allows you to parry. There are a number of parrying items, but early in the game you're not going to have them. So that's the one thing that I would say that you basically want to learn how to do. The other thing is, and let me switch to a different character for this. The problem is I start a low-level character and then I start playing it up and I blink and I'm level 100. So you're probably already doing this. It sounds like based on what you've commented, Courtney. Do everything, right? Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry. Just like wander, um, interact, find out where things are, look for caves. There are some cases where you can look um, at the map and it's going to show you where something is. Oh, yeah. Guess what this character just did earlier today? So, if you look at the map, for better or for worse, probably should have explained this before. I've done almost everything. Rats. I might be able to show you on that first character I was playing, because I skipped a bunch of stuff. If you look closely at the map, man, I'm hoping to look for. So, when you see something like this, for example, there's actually a creature here that you can fight. Obviously, the Evergoals show up. Okay, see where this thing is? See how there's this, like, hole beneath it? There are other examples of that. So, if you look at the map, this structure underneath this Ronnie's Rise, this is something because I've been there, it already puts it there. But if you look underneath it, there's this tower looking from the top. It's like the circle. When you look at maps and you're trying to decide where to go and you start following the roads around, you'll see stuff like this and this. Sometimes they're nothing. They're just a piece of concrete laying on the ground, like something that fell over. But other times they'll actually be something worth exploring. These big trees tell you where you're going to find the minor Erd trees. Those ones are really obvious. I was hoping to find one where the actual map hole is visible. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, like, if you see something like this, I happen to know that there's not anything here, but when you see this, the fact that somebody made the point to detail it there means that there may be something there worth exploring. Now, that doesn't mean all things that are worth exploring are like that, but that is one thing to look for. Like these right here. Turns out this is pretty much for all of these guys. See right here, if you look at your map, if this is something on your map and you haven't been there yet, look underneath where this Altus tunnel thing is. If you look at the map on that spot, here's the zoom in, you'll see there's a dark hole with this sort of reddish color around it. That's a cave, or a tunnel, and it's showing you where it is on the map. And if you look on the map, you'll find little markers that will tell you where things are. Here's another one. See that reddish color right there? If this wasn't covering it, there'd be a black hole with a little reddishness around it, which I'm realizing now sounds kind of gross, but we'll pretend it's not. And that'll show you, again, where a spot is that you can go. and actually explore. Now, not everything's going to be marked like that, but it gives you an idea of where you can head. So if you look closely at the map, you'll find that most of these kinds of things are going to give you a marker where something is. And it's kind of handy. There's going to be some ruins here, there's some ruins here, etc., etc. So as you're, I that's what you should do. Yeah, it's the problem is when you get to a place like this where the 3D-ness of this whole area is just jacked up, and it's really, really difficult to navigate this area. So sometimes you just got to go to YouTube and be like, "Help me," and that's where it's gonna, where you're actually gonna get where stuff is. Um, okay, so where else can I try this? Yeah, Melkirmir is really terrible when it comes to that. Um, yeah, I was kind of hoping that I could find something. Oh, tunnels are where you find miners and they drop smithing stones, both types. Not always true, but often true. Oh, yeah. The Seathwater Cave, is that the one you're talking about? Or whatever it's called? I don't even know that I have that one. Oh, I do. I haven't been there. I haven't been any of these things. There's one guy in this. Oh, yeah. And one thing that I usually end up challenging myself to do is to get everything in the game. Get all the incantations. Um, and all the spells, for example. See how he just used a guard counter against me. Alright, so I don't know if you noticed what just happened. That's one of the things I was trying to play with. So here's the theory behind this axe. I'm not convinced that this axe is excellent. Actually, I'm convinced it's not. But the rotten great axe has automatically scarlet rot build up. Not a lot, but 65 is a decent amount. But it's slow, so it takes a little while for the rot to build up. But what it has is poison buildup, and 195 is a lot of poison buildup. Well, this poison flower blooms twice has a special ability. If the creature that you hit has poison, then when you hit this skill and hit them with it, it will unleash all of that poison at once. And so it's like a massive hit all at once. The problem is that I'm so late in the game in terms of what I'm fighting that I don't know that I'm going to be able to show that I'm going to be able to play with it very well. But we're going to give it a try. I want to see, I want to get a feel for if this is... It intrigues me because I'm curious if I can get poison on something fast. Then I can use this axe to basically pop the poison and think of it as, you know how there's like bleed when it builds up and then it explodes, they take a huge burst of damage, and frost does the same thing. This may make poison do that, but you have to have this specific ability. So that's what I'm curious about. The problem is, I also have to survive this damn stuff. So we're gonna try, and I'm just not that good at this side of the game. I'm a caster at heart. Ow. Speaking of frost buildup. Yeah, here's the other thing. I may not have fixed my talismans. Come to think of it, I may have the talismans for the other weapon that I was using, which is a completely different build. Yeah. I'm definitely not using the right talismans. All right. I'm going to go for survivability. I need the weight, but can I get away with this? Yes, I can get away with that. And... Alright. This should crank up my survivability. Oh, it does. But I'm playing with this weapon. Yes, which is why I'm trying to use it on big creatures. With an exception, Anspur's Rapier. Anspur's Rapier is great at building up rot. The problem is you have to be able to hit the creature. Straight in. So he's now poisoned. So did you see that huge smack? That was actually what this Ashenward does. So it takes the... Courtney, you said you're using the fists for Fire Giant? Oh no. What? Hey, Ghost. Yeah, alright. This is not a good mob for me to test this on. Although, it did work, right? Yes, so here's... This is where I get stuck. So you can do the same thing that I'm doing with... you know what? I just lost 2 million runes. I didn't go pick up my old rune pile. It's okay. Oh, I mean, I've beaten this dragon plenty of times. It's just, and I'm not trying, I'm not doing like all the things that I normally do specifically to beat him. pretty sure this pile. Yep. Spent 10 minutes on the shelf. Ah. Ow. Nope. What do you need to do? That's it. This guy's pissing me off. Oh no. Man. Alright. My build is all hybridized to play with that axe. So for Fire Giant, what you need to do is you need to move in and out. Unless you've set yourself up to be able to survive it really well, but you need to move in and out of that fight constantly. What I would recommend if you're going to be sticking with the stars is in phase 2. You want to just get away from him, let him do all those initial attacks, and then just roll in, roll in, roll in. Just run in, roll through what you can, and just wail on. Don't do the whole wait for his arm to come down thing. You're doing a bleed build. You're building up bleed. That's how you do your damage. So just wail on his leg, and then when he rolls away, wait until he's done plastering fire everywhere, and then go and wail on his leg again. When you're doing status effects, they're not really affected by the kind of reduction that he's got like on his feet. You want to hit the arms if you're actually going for contact as the way that you're doing your damage. Yeah, if you're lucky, like if you're doing a frost build, if you're doing an Adula's Moonblade build, for example, then yeah, actually, you can aim for his hands. It actually works. That's actually a thing. Oh no. No. I think the Blasphemous Blade is better at that. Now that the words have been said. So the Blasphemous Blade is better, and unkillable is not quite the right word. Yeah, I wish my Frostbite did that type of damage too. What you can do is you can use Blood Tax on a pike, but your Mimic isn't smart enough to use it properly. I'll show you in a minute. Once I'm done getting my ass handed to me. Also, So, I just wanted this fight to be over with. Where I was before. That axe. Let's see. Yeah, I still need that. All right, we'll do this. So there's a lot. One of the mistakes that people make is they don't really learn the mechanics of the game. What happens is that people that give advice, or that I've seen so much advice, the advice boils down to bleed, get runes. Just bleed, get runes. That's all they tell you to do. You don't learn to play the game that way. What you learn is to DPS as high and as fast, as hard and as fast as you can. And the intent of that is to kill them before they kill you. And that's not a bad build, but it's a really bad way to do your first playthrough because you don't learn anything. You basically just learn that my goal is to do as much DPS as possible and hope that I get a couple of lucky resists when damage comes in. You know what I mean? I mean, as long as you learn at least basic dodging, right? There's stuff that you can do. You can always get runes back. That's for sure. I mean, shit, you just saw me lose 2 million runes. And I'll get them back. That's not even the first time. I think I lost 3 million runes once on this tune. Spells. Yeah, those will work. Don't worry, I'm just... Yeah. Well, that's what happens, is that you get into New Game Plus, and suddenly your ability to sort of survive what they're doing just goes in the toilet. And you have to start learning to play smarter. If you learn on your first playthrough to play smarter, and how to build stuff, then it'll work a little bit better. I think, so one of the things, I've only played Elden Ring. I haven't played the rest of the Souls games. And what I've heard is that the primary reason why people say Elden Ring is easier is spells. But you have to know how to use them. You know, I think, oh yeah, the worst advice... the worst advice you can give someone who's learning how to play the game is to get them the Meteor Staff and Rock Sling. You'll do 100 levels with just that and not learn a single thing about how to play the game. Millennia wants to talk to me. Let's see what she has to say. Yep. Now, this is not the build I've been playing with. I'm experimenting right now.
I'm glad. I must thank you. Please continue.
And I am absolutely positively 12. NG plus 12. I'm absolutely positively wanting to use Alexander. I always do. I like... people will say that it makes it harder. Yeah. Actually, Alexander does not make this fight harder. So, interesting fact, just Courtney, in case you didn't know this. I'm about to walk into a summon area, right? The fire giant. If the yellow thing is on the outside, you summon on the outside, and then you pass through the wall, it will make the boss harder. If the yellow thing is on the inside, so you pass through the wall, the boss has already spawned. So if you use the yellow thing on the inside, then you're done. It doesn't make the boss any harder. Wait, did I forget to trigger Alexander? I did. Hold that thought. It's not Fire Giant time. It's Seedwater Terminus time. Yep. There aren't many of them that are on the inside. However, Mesmer is one of them. By the way, do you have Alexander? You can actually go back. Oh, yeah. It's... Alexander is an amusing character to have in the game. However, for the Fire Giant, he's actually pretty damn useful. He's not here. He should have been there. This is where you'll find him that triggers him for... Wait, did I kill Radon? Oops. Wait, if I haven't killed Radon, how am I able to get to this spot? Yeah, but I thought you couldn't zone in until you killed Radon. Ho ho. Well, in that case, let's go kill Radon. Yeah, if you have to trigger I'm not in the right spot. Hold on. There's a couple different ways to get there. I'm debating which one I want to use. No, this will work. I don't actually like this way of getting there because you have to run by a bunch of dogs and birds, and I hate those things. Oh, yeah, there's actually a teleporter. These birds are what I hate. There's actually another teleporter that gets you much closer, but you have to get to the teleporter, and you can't just walk into it. Oh, I needed more fan daggers. If you notice, they're not fighting the dogs yet. The dogs are just, like, munching, right? If you decide to skip all of this, you'll actually get to the part where they use their horns, and they go and attack the dogs instead of you, which is pretty cool. Okay, for the people on Twitch, I see your texts. It is obvious when someone is connecting who is planning on asking me to buy artwork from them. And I just ignore you. Just to be clear. Can't believe I didn't do Radon yet. I'm really flabbergasted that I thought you couldn't walk into Fire Giant until you'd done Radon. That's why I'm, like, kind of surprised. Oh, well, thank you, President. I try. Yep, there's Alexander.
Life. Now, the way ahead is...
She heals, by the way.
Champion! I am... Do you know? Well, to think. Oh, but be sure to...
Alright, this is going to be interesting. Doing this guy with this. Do I want to use this axe? Alright, I'm going to try it with the axe a few times.
Are you the festival? But now, we must make merry.
But now we must make merry. Apparently making merry is going in and getting destroyed. Now, something that I did not realize until a much later playthrough. When you're running up into this fight, you can summon a bunch of people. The guy who runs the festival, I don't believe you can summon him until Phase 2. But you can summon him in Phase 2. You can also summon Patches if you've done his quest line, which is also very amusing. Yeah, this fight's really frustrating. But let me show you a trick. Line up the debris, and he hits the debris instead of you. Did you know that? Ah, I hate it. Alright, so he killed Alexander. He killed someone else, I think. You see that? And here's the thing. Find another summoner and you can summon them back. Oh, he flew. Uh-oh. There. Up there. Crap. There's only a couple of immune iframes in there, and I never catch that when I'm actually stuck. You can. Here's the thing, though. If you use the medallions to go up the lift, okay? So if you get the medallions and you go up lift the proper way, the two guys that are here, I don't know what you call them, the two titans, I don't know what to call them. Those two things will not attack you if you go the lift the right way. If you come around the precipice and you make your way up to up through here and around, they'll attack you. Little curiosity. I forgot to do this before. Yep. I didn't either. Again, one of those things you kind of learn. I didn't actually need to. Oh boy. Oh, seriously? So here, check it out. See? Now I can summon this guy. Haha, crazy town. All right, hold on. Let me read some text here. Blinded me, by the way. I have no honor with her daughter. Just Scarlet rot him into oblivion. Absolutely, that's the way to do it, to President. History repeating itself. That's the beauty of Elden Ring. Yeah. Oh, here's something else that you may not have known. I will show you the most irritating dungeon in the base game, if you don't know about it. The War Dead Catacombs. So, I recommend that you Do your
Glory of the pen and a
conversations.
full- I can't father. He was a living.
Grab your grace.
Well, the wheel of fate is on the card. You are a fight.
All right. You haven't met Ronnie yet, so he doesn't have any conversations about seeing you elsewhere.
Aye, one hit after that, and as such, as luck, if I can, and you know,
Tea.
who could expect? Just you wait. Who could expect any? Just you wait.
All right. Now, what's irritating about it? There's a ship out here. What's irritating about it is it's so far away. So, a little fact about the catacombs. They have limited respawns. It isn't infinite. They don't keep respawning forever. They do have limited respawns. If you don't get involved, they'll keep beating the crap out of each other. If you have the Blasphemous Blade, that's a great way to manage it. I am only going to go to the entrance to tap the Grace and then come back out again. In case I ever want to come back and play with it. Sometimes I feel like I think maybe I should go bowling again. And then I'm like, wait, let me go to these catacombs and remind myself what bowling is like. If you are a real professional graphic designer with the kind of skill that I would expect someone to have, you wouldn't pick a name like Jackson_White001. That was for Twitch. Because, hey, someone on Twitch is offering me artwork. That's all they do. I don't know why I keep streaming to Twitch. I have one person that follows me on Twitch. That's why I keep streaming to Twitch. Mental reset. What was I doing? Alexander. I gotta go up here. You know, it's especially irritating is when you know that they're effectively ignoring what you say. Or they say, my mic isn't working right now. Maybe you can text chat with, stop what you're doing and text with me? What? Yes, let me stop playing this video game and chat with a random person on the internet. And there's Alexander.
Oh, mountain of fire! Bake me in your flames! Good. I hardly feel I've been take it. But I won't be. Perhaps I'll. There's an old above the. There's an old above the lock. Perhaps an old above the lock.
Yep. All right. Now I can get Alexander. I don't think you're a scammer. I just don't want artwork, and you're one of literally hundreds of people that bother me about this all the time. I will not connect on Discord, I will not connect on Instagram, etc. All right. Now, here's another thing. When you summon someone like this, and you do buffing, wait for them to appear. Then cast your buffs. That way you're buffing them too. Caster me. And he's super, super, super resistant to fire, by the way. Oh yeah, lightning's fantastic. Did you know that when things are in water, they take more damage from lightning? And the lightning may do AoE damage when it normally doesn't? Alright, so it's going to spew a bunch of fire all around it, and it's going to keep growing, right? So the beauty of Dragon's Breath weapons is like really up close and personal, and just absolutely vast quantities of damage. There's Fire Giant. Okay, so you're asking an excellent question. Let me give you the best answer that I can, because I think it depends. Okay, so Rot Breath does good damage. However, the Rot buildup is actually not as good as it should be. I think they nerfed it. Frost Breath builds up frost and does it pretty well, but most importantly, when you get a frost buildup, as it builds up, it will do a blood style burst, but also increases the damage that they take from all sources. That's the important part. So once you get Frost Breath on, you can then switch to other attacks if you so desire, but also the Frost Breath will do more damage. It's pretty crazy, actually. I use Rot Breath in order to get Rot buildup, and then I'll switch to Frost Breath. Or I'll use Frost Breath to get the damage increase, and then once the Frost is on, I will switch to Rot Breath to try and get more damage from Rot. If the creature... So it does, but I think it does less Frost buildup. That's what someone made a claim at on my feed, that Frost actually does more buildup than the Ghost Flame does, because I was using Ghost Flame, and when I switched to Frost, the Frost built up faster. And I haven't done any like serious calculations about which one actually works better. So there's a curious thing that a lot of people don't really think about It's in the DLC. Um, there's, all right, little interlude here. Let me get this point. There are a few concepts that are in all of these games. This isn't an Elden Ring thing. This is just a general thing. All right, Courtney, good luck. Stop. Come back. Come back. Come back in the future. Enjoy having you here. There's a conceptual thing that a lot of people don't think about when playing any game that's like this. And it's this. Put it on a web page with a URL and maybe I'll look at it. Jackson, I am not going to connect with you on Instagram or Discord or anywhere else. Okay, so here's how, here's something conceptually to think about in the way that some of this stuff works. Damage taken and damage done is a stepper function that looks at your health for damage taken, your FP for damage done, and how many hit points the boss has. I think that's a really tough, Nathan, that's a really tough question to answer. One of my favorite builds is the Ancient Dragon build, which is a DLC-based build, but it's lightning, is fantastic. That's incantations. Magma is another fantastic, super fun build, and that's sorcery, and it's intelligence. So I think it depends. So the deal is this. Let's say that you can do 200 points a hit, and the boss has 1,000 hit points. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,000 damage, boss is dead. 5 hits. Let's say that you're doing 500 points. 500,000. 2 hits, boss is dead. So 500 is better than 200. Now, let's say that you increase... I haven't played with the double magma blades, I actually carried a single magma blade. I never used it. I used all magma spells. I think I only used it the same way I use a dagger or anything else, when I just pop just to kill trash, like going through a dungeon. So let's say that you increase, by putting a talisman on and everything, you go from 200 to 220 damage. Okay? 220, 440, 660, 880, 1,100. 5 hits to kill. Did you actually improve anything by increasing your damage by 10%? It still took 5 hits to kill the boss. Because it doesn't matter how much damage you do. It matters how many times you hit the boss, or how much time it takes to hit the boss, as to whether or not you win. Yes, it is related to how much damage, but damage of little tiny numbers usually don't make a difference. Let's say the boss has 1,001 hit points. 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,000. You need one more hit. Right? But when you went to 220, it was 220, 440, 660, 880, 1,100. 5 kills the boss. Then it matters. But you have to look... It's any game that's like this. It fits Elden Ring just as well as anything else, right? Ultimately, these are not lines. People draw these lines about what step... They're stepper functions, which means they go step, 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 step. Ultimately, if you're hitting for 1 point, then yeah, the step is 1. And so it's just going to be a line of what it does, right? But ultimately, it comes down to how many hits. If you increase by 100 hit points, but a boss hits for 1,000, you're still going to die in 2 hits, right? Status effects, which do a little bit of AoE, yeah, and there may be one fight in 1,000 where you survive because you have 1 hit point left. So when you're making your choices about what to do, these things are actually pretty important. It's kind of like if one were to another way to think of it is this. So I could, for example, put this talisman on and increase my damage by 4%. Why? I'm probably not going to shorten my fight at all. I'm going to have a slightly bigger number every single hit, which is why nobody doubles those. You're much better off picking something that actually will make a difference, even if it's only in survivability, or the rare time you get a crit, or one hit point or one mana per tick, or whatever, these 5 or whatever it is. It's better than what is effectively no increase. So when you're looking at what gear to use, what's better, what's worse, you have to keep that stuff in mind. It is much better, I think, to find a build that is fun. If you're enjoying playing and you're dying all the time, that is better than having a boring run where you just win everything. Great, you won. Congratulations. Did you have fun? So, take all that for what it's worth.
I have longed this world and death. Are you to commit? Very well.
Now, the
Let
level
my
that I'm
hand
at,
rest
I
upon
have
for but a moment.
4 stats, almost 5 stats at hard caps. So I can make builds to do anything I want. And the way that I change what my build is not by actually changing my stats. It's by changing my talismans and my weapons. That's how I make changes. Yeah, when you're in that 400 level 400 territory, that's what it's like. But you're also in playthroughs. Mobs are much tougher. All right. So I am not in love with this axe, which is no surprise. It just isn't building up rock quickly enough, even on the big bosses. And when I get to places like this, I'd much rather clear them by doing stuff like this. And backstab. That's a terrible backstab. But it got poison on him. That's hilarious. Oh. Yeah, this axe is awful. It's just not my style. I agreed. Yeah, lightning is a great weapon, and like Millennia actually is not super resistant to lightning, but if you keep her in the middle of the arena, she's in water, so you do extra damage. Here's something crazy. Watch this. So you saw what that gargantuan axe does, right? Watch this. Don't let... someone asked about this earlier. Blood pike with blood tax. All right, check this out. So this is certain daggers. So you can look at this number here, critical. Misery Cord is the best crit weapon in the game. My biggest single hit crit with Misery Cord was 115,000 damage. Mind you, it was on a Wicker Man, so it's kind of special case, but... Alright. Watch this. Oh, dragon? Never mind. That's not where I want to use this. This is not where I want to show this off. I am, however, going back to this. Hold on. Wait. That means I want... Where are they? This. And I want... this. And I want... this. Is that right? That's right. I can get killed. I'm gonna summon caster version of me. I better heal. Alright. Check this out. Oh, wow! I got no damage resistance. He destroyed me. That was wicked. Yeah, that's... Well, this is, you know, when you get high enough new games, that's basically what happens. I didn't even notice how much damage I was doing to him either. Alright, I did that badly. Let's see if I can't do better. I also used the wrong... So, using this as an opener, Black Blade, has the advantage of opening up a huge, big first hit. Speaking of lightning. I have 34 of those. told you I'm not interested. Sorry, still same guy on Twitch. So this is the build that I've been using, by the way, is what you're watching now. I'm playing on PC, by the way. Yeah, I'm not really into the PvP aspect of the game. Not my thing. When someone taught me how to get invaded and then immediately uninvade, I was happy. When they showed me that I didn't even have to do that to do the quest line, I was like, aw, sweet. Alright. It is time for the shameless use of a spell. Hold on. That one. Oh, and yep. Alright. Here's something else that a lot of people don't realize. It's super handy. So, Light of Mikella has this... Oh, more thing. This is just for this little area. This spell is fantastic for these guys because the... Uh-oh. The rain will kill them after, which is super handy. Still got that one in there. Alright, I'm saving one to show you. So, here's the deal. You can get an Ash of War called Sacred Blade, and you can put it on a Misericord, which is just awesome in my opinion. When you encounter undead that respawn, and you hit them with this, first, they die instantly. Now, it may not do enough damage to kill them instantly, but they don't respawn. So when you look at the actual description of Sacred Blade... Oh, that's not what I do. Inventory. Weapon, Misericord. Here. Here we go. Wait. No. Fires off a golden blade projectile. In particular, Sacred Blade actually is the kind of holy damage that's permanent. So it will remain... I hate it when it doesn't work properly. It's irritating. So it's the one drawback with that spell is that sometimes stuff just it won't hit. It'll find a different floor surface and use it. Oh, another one. So notice I've got the only buffs that I have are buffs that the equipment that I'm wearing gives me. Watch this. Oh, get this back. All right, watch my buff bar. It gave me a buff. So golden arrows from a great bow actually give you a lesser form of, and it'll buff your helpers. It gives you a lesser form of what's it called? Golden vow. Another interesting thing a lot of people don't know. Okay, so this is one of these undead creatures, and as a result, yeah. So Sacred Blade, go find it. I couldn't tell you where it is, but go find Sacred Blade. It's awesome. And by putting it on the Misery Cord, you can go to the places where they have the respawnable undead and just, like, walk through those dungeons really fast. And by the way, the actual attacks when it's lit up like that does the same thing, and it hits for a ton of damage. Now, you might think that you have to go down that hole. Watch this. You might not know about going down that hole. You have to jump. That's important. You actually have to jump. Now, these guys down here are not undead. And I want this. Oh, Snikey. Of course I missed. There's a few of those guys in here, by the way. But I'm going to show you why you go this route instead. Ah, hell. All right, you can go to the right and do stuff. I'm going to skip it. And I did not know this until I always found this point, this grace, I found coming a different way. And I never understood why it was here. It does. Keep in mind, I'm super fragile because of, well, not super fragile. I have no added resistance, right? This gives me a little extra health. It's not worth it, by the way. All right. Here's something that I didn't know for a long time. You can summon help on the god on the god skins. And by the way, Bernal's a badass. So, little handy thing. But again, wait for him to appear, then buff. Alright, I got greedy. Alright, let's not be greedy this time. We are going to put that back on. Oh, and I want to get rid of, hold on. Don't have spells that you don't want your mimic to use. I forgot to take that away. So we were talking about rot earlier. There you go. Yep. And I swear I just learned it too. Roll, baby. something else that I didn't know. So, by the way, as a general rule of thumb, if you find a body hanging over an edge with arms pointing down like that, that usually means you can go down there somewhere. Like that. Those things are vile. Now, it's not 100% that someone pointing down like that means there's somewhere to go down there, but it is almost always the case. In fact, in some cases, they're pointing from exactly where you jump down, or at least very close to it. I've encountered one or two of them where that's not the case, but they almost always are. This is the path to Alexander, and a little bit of map. So this is one of those places where having this is a huge advantage. Because this is playthrough number 12, and shit hits really hard. That's why. I mean, it's not for lack of gear, but the only thing I've got, if I switched from guard to... if I switch from guard to damage reduction, that will help quite a bit. But at the end of the day... Watch this. Oh, man, they actually came up here with me. Is that guy gonna go with me? You crazy. So it's a, I mean, it's a fair question. I'm a glass cannon because at this playthrough level, stuff just hits really freaking hard. That's it. It really is just that. Now, unfortunately, I don't have... Alright, let's see. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. What? What? Come on, Slim. There we go. nuts. I'm not going to get it this time. Come back and get it later if I care to. Alright, let's get rid of that. Now watch Alexander. Is it wrong to use Shard of Alexander against Alexander? Just asking for a friend. And back to here.
Ah, city, that aside, I doubt there's... Of course. Which mean, would you come and tell me? I've been long... You are ready then? Then let us begin. I am the warrior. As I suspected, victory was impossible.
Always impossible.
This vessel was found lacking. My thanks.
You actually should have been around,
It was a marvelous battle.
Dodip.
I implore you,
Is it Dodip?
take
Dodip?
what I bequeathe.
Should have been around last
Me.
playthrough. I did most of it
Poor
with
vessels are
the
destined
Smith
to
script
one day
dagger.
break.
I was just throwing
But the
daggers the
grace
whole
of
time.
Alexander lived as a
Only a
warrior
couple of
till his
bosses did I
last.
move away from that. But I even did it on the Draconic Warrior. It was pretty funny. Alright, let's see. We want to go back to the lift. What? Back to the lift. I don't know how many times I've fallen down here and died. It's pretty sad, actually. Oh, little handy trick. So I want that to be back up top in case I need to respawn at that point. And notice how I ran backwards, back over the button. So the button would come back up again, but now when I run over the button to go over, it throws it back up automatically. If you get used, it's a handy habit to get into. That's all. Now, also, first playthrough, I don't recommend running past everything. After the first playthrough, absolutely. Now, do I have a spell? Hold on. No, I don't. I want a laser spell. And the easiest one is that. And I want it so that I can do stupid crap like this. Oh, here's one. Did you guys know about this? There's a chest here. It doesn't actually shorten anything. Some people say it does. I have not figured out anyway. Maybe you can drop down over there, but you've got to deal with these birds anyway. So that's what this spell's for. Oh! Bastard. And one here. There's a fourth bird. Oh! I was too early. There's actually another bird here. If you care to kill it. Because those birds are asses. Outbreath me. Now, another spot people don't know about. I'm not going to take all the birds out. I just don't want to spend the time. But I will point out that there is a whole area down here. Doing, 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 all the way down, boop, to there in the building. Then there's a fight back down there. You go up a lift. That takes you into that structure under there, which will eventually lead you to popping back out up there. And that bird, that fourth bird that I killed, that's where it is. For the laser beam. That guy. Ah. Screwing this up. ledge behind me. Sorry. Like in this area? Like there's a ledge here? Oh, that doesn't look healthy. Do you mean the ledge to Placidusix? Yes. I am very aware of that one. I do. This is my... This is my 12th playthrough after all. Well, it's actually more like my 15th, but... Alright, here's the question. Draconic Knight or Placidusix? Sentinel? Gotta do one of them. I mean, I have to do both of them. Well, I have to do one of them. I should do both of them. Favorite NPC or villain? Favorite NPC or villain? Favorite NPC, Millicent. Favorite villain? Favorite villain? What's his name? The main guy. The brother. It's the brother, right? Lore evades me. Let's see what we can do with this guy. Mesmer. Oh, crap. Oh, wrong weapon. That's funny. Ah, come on. I'm giving you the command to roll. Man. That was nuts. Like, approximately 0 of the times that I told it to roll, did it roll. Alright. That's crazy. Yep. I think it builds up more. I haven't tested it. I think it builds up more Scarlet Rot, and I think it does more damage. Alright, let's kill a dragon. It's late. I'm wired. Why am I running? Alright, so... Now, here's the interesting thing. I've been leaving furnace pots for when I summon my helper, and that's been a mistake, because fire will remove the frost that's on there. Instead, I'm going to give him a rot pot. Can I make more of those? I don't think I can. I can't. I don't have any pots left. Oh, yeah, 441, is that what I'm at now? Yeah. Alright. Make sure I don't fall in, alright. Let's see. Hold on, I want to make sure I've got the right stuff. Lightning. This is emphasis on my sword. That's not going to work well on this fight, so instead we're going to go with survivability increases, fire, and add melee fire. I'll leave the sword there, but there's just no, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to instead go with Ansper's Rapier, which has Royal Knight's Resolve, which I don't want it to have. There are other Ashes of War that I really like. I've just become addicted to this one, Poison Flower Blooms Twice. Except I'm not going to do poison, I'm going to do blood for that. But what happens is when you use it on a mob that has a status effect, it explodes that status effect. That's the Blooms Twice. So once it ticks down, and then if you hit it with the Ash of War, the skill, it'll actually, like, disperse the effect immediately and do a ton of damage. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Milady's a great sword. Oh, where am I going? Alright, move up a little bit. Alright, Mimic, Vow, Blessing, Healer, heal thyself. All right. And did not successfully run away. Last time I did this, I did not do it with these spells, and so my placement and everything is off. Alright, where is he? There he is. Drink. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, what? Okay. Come on. I'm like sitting there trying to drink that potion for like 20 seconds and it just would not let me drink that potion. What the hell? How do you think he got down to like 20% health? Have to attack. Oh, what's up, Liam? Let's go. Miami Metal, baby. Bah. Get some sleep, man. Love you too. Be excellent. The way I fumbled that was I was mashing the key to drink a potion and it just wouldn't drink a potion. So apparently I was doing something wrong, like trying to drink a potion, when I should have been drinking a potion. How much vigor do I have? That's a good question. 60. let's crank things up a little bit. Now I'm officially mad. Oh, come on. Nope. What about that? Looks like he's frosty now. Oh, maybe not. Oh, come on. Oh, I feel rough. Hey, finally got that built up. Done. He's good and rotten now. Oh no. Oh, come on. Trust the shield, trust the shield. There we go. Oh, don't want to forget my runes. That may or may not be enough to level. Yes, Elden Ring. That is not enough to level. What do I need? 20,000. 15,000 actually. I usually won't do this, but I don't want to walk around with that many runes. I've already lost about 2 million today. 15. Oh, 2 of those. 12. Level up. What? I missed by 100? Come on. Seriously, I didn't calculate down that low. Alright, that's funny. I'll do 200. Level up. What am I cranking? I think I was cranking int. Dex is already maxed because I'm using it for cast speed. Alright, and... Oh, so just a comment. If you do Frenzied Flame, the item that you would use to cancel Frenzied Flame is... Where is it? This, Miquella's Needle. So if you use this item, this is the Heart of the Storm. So if you use this item and you have the Frenzied Flame, this will get rid of it. But here's the key. To get here, you have to have already used Frenzied Flame to burn the tree. So you can prevent the Frenzied Flame ending by using this needle. Anyway, but you have to do the Millicent quest line all the way through, kill Millennia, and then take the unalloyed needle, or the alloyed needle, and jam it into the flower after the Millennia fight, and you get this as one of the 2 items in return. Anyway, I've done that once. I had never done it before. I'm like, huh, let's do this. All right. I want that. Go back to that. I don't need lightning, but it would be nice to roar. So crank that up. I'm not using the shield most of the time, so let's do this. You actually want it to be 68. So the best, okay. The best staff in the game is shared in 3 ways. There are 3 different staffs. I might even have them all in inventory. I may not. No, I do not. Okay. Staff of Loss. I think that's the one. If you have 75 int, 75 faith, has the highest scaling in the game, that doesn't mess up your FP use if you're using that staff. If you 12, if you don't want to use, if you don't want to have both faith and int cranked, then the staff you get from Renalia, beating her, Renola, I forget what it's called. That's the best staff in the game, and it improves the moon spells. And Ronnie's Dark Moon is freaking awesome as a spell on so many levels. Even on a melee build, that's a great spell to use because it increases the damage that you do. The third one is Lusat's. Now, here's the thing. Lusat's will absolutely destroy your FP. It's a 40% increase in mana use. So, there is a tier, but it has the highest scaling if you crank it up to plus 10. There is a tier that will zero out mana use. So, if you're doing a build like Comet of Azure, what you do is you get you have Lusat's staff available to use. You switch to that staff, you hit your physic, and then you just wail that comet out for as long as your mana stands, and it will fire for like 8 seconds, just like it just keeps going and going and going. That's how, in one of my playthroughs, I killed Melania in phase 2 in one shot. Blasphemous Blade is probably the best sword in general in the game for someone who's not doing some super complicated fancy build. It's not best on every boss, but it's best on most bosses. And if you have it in hand when you summon your mimic will heal using it, just like you can. Yeah, I am not a fan of first playthroughs using a blood build, because you become reliant on the blood damage. One of my first playthroughs, I did blood, and it made me very lazy. And I didn't even learn half the things that were in the game until I got past that point. All right, if I can do this on a first pass, it will be a huge advantage. So let's see if we can't do this right. I'm going to summon Caster. Holy cow. Wow! So much damage. And that was through my shield. That was a mistake. Yeah, that was a cutscene, alright. Oh, hold on. Pro tip. So, usually the first time you enter, you have time. That's why I didn't buff on the outside. Yeah, Malekith is rough. Time.
I cover destined death. To kill what?
Oh, my rune pile. Oh no, my rune pile. Hold on, let's not make this mistake. One thing that drives me, like, up a wall, and it's all me. It's all me. Yeah, I've lost 2 million runes too many times. I don't have 2 million runes, just like 50 runes in there. That's kind of why I'm making fun of it. The problem is that it's on my map, and it's on my compass, and it drives me up a wall. All 96 of them. Look. This is still here because I haven't been there yet. Have I been underground at all? Yeah. Nope. Not even Ronnie's ending. Let's see. I didn't go underground. I didn't do anything. All right. Why not? Look at all that health. What is my health now? 2375. Alright. Who wants to see Gideon die? Hell, I want to see Gideon die.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring. To be crowned. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas. Oh yes, high hopes for us. Continue to struggle. Unto eternity.
So now he's locked into that position.
In my bones, a tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you.
Oh, no.
A man.
I didn't update the name. Sorry, this is not the Convergence mod. I was streaming that yesterday, and I didn't change the title. My apologies, Samuel. I went back to my usual. Yeah, this is not Convergence. That'd be funny, though. Great. Now I can see a Convergence mod where... a Convergence mod challenge where you're only allowed to use base game stuff. That'd be funny. Sorry, if anyone joined to watch Convergence mod, that's not what this is. My bad. Okay. Oh, thanks for the follow. busted through my shield. Which is a bummer too, because he was all rotted up. Oh, there's a million runes. There. Alright. Ah. Arcane, faith, intelligence, stamina. um, Oh, come on. Oh, jeez.
'Twas nobly
Was nobly fought. Let me check my... The problem is, so, here's the catch. When I have the shield up like this, I take very little damage. If I drink, it pulls the shield out. So I might heal, like, a third of my bar, or half my bar, but then he does more than half my bar in damage. I do want to heal, but I have to do it the right way. Alright. And that. Alright, this should do it. Oh, panic rolling is absolutely key. I panic roll all the time. Oh. And what else I forgot is this. Oh, hold on. You. Wait. Hold on, I got that backwards. I want hit after.
Tarnished.
Yeah,
My
a little laser beam.
Befits a crown.
He's the first person that gave us respect. Everyone before him, no respect. All right. One shot. Didn't even use that. Yep. Hold on. Wait. Okay, one moment, Jonesy. You're welcome. I don't have enough runes to level up. I don't even have half the runes I need to level up. Why? You just heal. Oh. Ow. Guess who's immune to rock? Big body bosses are super vulnerable to pest threats. Oh, I hate this spell. Ah, crap. No, damn it. This should do it. One shot, baby. Ah! Now, I did. That was hairy. So, one quick comment just about this shield. If you look at the difference between this and the Verdigious shield, this shield has better magic, fire, lightning, holy. Verdigious has better physical and guard. But the guard is only like 2 points better. I think the holy advantage on this is way higher. So, there it is. Anyhow. Alright. I'm actually not gonna do I'm not gonna do an ending yet. The dragon shields do different stuff. So, like the dragon claw shield, keep in mind this one's not cranked up, right? It has better physical, but nowhere near as much guard boost. Verdigious, whatever. It's a different purpose. You use this shield because of the ability to do the lightning attack with it, in my opinion. There really aren't many shields that are, if you can tolerate the weight. This is why my endurance is 97. I usually have my endurance is 99. I have it 97 because I did a calculation with the weapon I was planning on using that I didn't need 99. So, take that for what it's worth. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the likes and follows. If you didn't follow yet, please follow. Throw a couple likes my way. I'd appreciate that. And I always enjoy having people chatting with me while I'm trying to play. I know sometimes I kind of focus in. It happens. But thank you for advice, Dominic. Dominic, Darkfrost. Thank you. The horse. Sometimes I forget to pop on my horse. I get kind of tunnel visioned. That's one of my biggest weaknesses when I play the game. Anyway, be awesome, everyone. I hope you all have an awesome new year, and I will see you all